Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah, Koholoyim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rechaha Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, Haruel, that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M, Akhwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Achana Nawah. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. Just a little ride and drive at the plantation, just hitting the record button by the Spirit. Just see Jake out and about. And we say Jake, we're talking about the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. And, just seeing them out and about, just doing their thing, they, God damn it. Caught up in this shit. It's locky. But anyway, you see Jake out. Jake just got that mindset that this place is gonna carry on. You can see it in them. You can just tell the way that they act, just by it's nothing wrong with wanting, nice things, but you can just tell how Jake is about nice things, where they are living that facade of, a rapper's lifestyle or some shit. Everybody out here just, a fucking influencer, or, they're living these lives of you only live once, things are gonna carry on, and just things are gonna just be the same, and they're creating their future, they're thinking about future shit, and they have no idea, man, that this place is about to be blown to fucking smithereens, man. The Lord has already got a work in play for this place to go, man. I just seen a Jake, and I'm just looking at him, just all super duper extravagant. You can just see the whole model of wanting to be seen, And again, it's nothing wrong with having nice things, you know what I'm saying? But, you can just see it on Jake. Them 2/3 Jakes, and I'm praying, man, that the Lord, have mercy on me, man, and I don't go back to that world, because I can remember when, I had a lifestyle of, you would get geared, you had to have the dopest shit, you had to have the freshest shoes, the outfits had to be on point, crispy and clean, and, your little name brands and all that shit. Man, I got so much shit, that shit in my closet I ain't wore in years. I just went to just being a plain man. I mean, that's just, and sometimes I be thinking like, well, damn, why don't you, kind of get dressed, what I'm saying, to go and do a little something, man. I just can't bring myself to do it, man. It's just like I wear the plainest shit, I'll shop out of fucking Walmart, just wearing the plainest shit, just trying to be comfortable. Coming to the plantation, getting the coins, going back home, because Jake, now I'm not going nowhere. Being in this troop, it's like where, I'm not saying that you can't go out and have a good time. Brothers do that, and I may eventually, try and get a balance going on and doing something, but it's just not my thing no more, man. I try to be content. I pray about being content, and that's one thing, you could throw in your prayers too. The Lord helping you to be content with what it is that we have, and being thankful for what it is that we have, You got a running vehicle, you got a home, it may not be the rapper's lifestyle, but shit, hey, you got it, you got it, man, and that's the important thing, the Lord providing you with your daily bread. Y'all seen that Jake, man, I'm just looking like, bro, because, Jake just takes shit too far. Jake be doing too much, but we do have that, we have that spirit. Jake really do have that spirit of, royalty, taking it there, so to speak, because I can't even imagine King Solomon back in the days, you know what I'm saying, like how he was geared up and the way that he looked, because, when Queen Sheba came to visit him, she actually thought that the guards or the doormen, were actually, King Solomon, just because of the way that they were dressed. So if the doorman is geared up and looking like that, imagine how the king looked. And then, she got into his presence and seen all the luxurious things that he had. and all that wisdom, and she was just in shock and awe. So we do have that spirit, but it's just like right now, man, it's not time to be focusing on shit like that. Like I said again, it's not nothing wrong with having nice things, but you gotta stay focused, man, as to what's happening in the world and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is showing us that this place is at an end. Esau's kingdom is at an end, man. Those little funds that everybody is fighting for, you chasing the bag, that shit is about to go. And matter of fact, to keep any portion of the bag in this future, you're gonna have to be microchipped. And that's the mindset you don't want to be in. You don't want to be in the mindset. That's like what's the guy? He was telling the Lord, "Well, I keep all the law, statutes, and commandments since my youth," or something like that, roughly paraphrasing. And the Lord was like, pretty much give up what he had to the poor and follow him. And that hurt him, man. You know what I'm saying? That guy, that turned him off. And that's the mindset of someone that would take that microchip. And see, you got Jake. It's just like the days of Egypt, man. Those same spirits are back here, where they wanted to go back to Egypt. The Lord, here you go. The Lord is trying to take them, to the promised land, and going through that promised land, man, there was a rough patch. There was a proving, so to speak. So the Lord was proving us. But the other side of that proving, that's like what's coming through the fire right now. Gold is tried in the fire. And I forgot how it's really it's worded verbatim. It's in the Apocrypha. I think that's Ecclesiastes chapter 2, but it talks about how a man's basically through adversity, that man is tried. So you going through what you're going through, you're being tried, you're being refined, you're being perfected. But during that perfection period, you're going through a lot of rough patches, a lot of rough things, you know what I'm saying? And, we pray to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua for that spirit to endure. I remember the apostle would always say, get comfortable being uncomfortable, being in his truth, so to speak. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. I heard that years back, and I'm like, well, damn, that's that's kind of crazy. That's a crazy way of putting something, but it's real. Be comfortable being uncomfortable, because this is not our rest. This is not our kingdom. This is Esau Edom's kingdom, and the people of this world, this is their rest. And that's got to do with a lot of our people. 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed, hanging on to this place, holding on to Esau's kingdom, because they're going to take that microchip. And we're praying, man. That's one thing you should be constantly praying about every day, is that the Lord have mercy on you, and that he will place a spirit of endurance on you. That because the scripture says that those that endure to the end shall be saved. And a part of that enduring to the end is enduring to the end without taking that fucking microchip. Because if you take that microchip, you done. You done. There ain't no coming back from that. That's Revelation 14:9. But Revelation 13, 16, and 17, it goes off into you're not going to be able to buy or sell. So when you see these lifestyles that our people, because some of our people got it. Some of our people got money. Some of our people, live, they're not worried about the gas. They don't give a fuck about this gas going up to $10 a gallon. Some of them can't afford it. It's not affecting some of our people in the way that it's affecting, the ones that may just be in the hood. You know what I'm saying? That's on a budget or whatever the case may be. But some of our people really got it. But you got these other 2/3 that don't have it like that, and they still, they're still gonna try and go hard, because they have this mentality that they live in a fucking rap video, man. They look at these videos, they see these weirdos. I call them weirdos, you know what I'm saying? But because our people, they get in these videos, and again, our people got a lot of style. Our people, don't get me wrong, Jake could get down on you. You're not out styling Jake. That's why, the scripture talks about how Jake is the salt of the earth. Jake got that swag, that salt. And you can see these other nations, they actually try and pick up on it. And some of them are okay, decent with it. You got some of these other nations that's really got it. They really got money. Like I'm in an area right now, you know what I'm saying? Where, these Ishmaelites, these Arabs, they really got some bread out here. And you can, you may not be able to see through these trees, but they got these big ass cribs in the back of these trees, man. Big stupid ass cribs. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can face my camera. Now this right here is a crib right here. All these cribs over here is crazy. They all fenced in. These, when you see them little tree lines like that, you know that they they getting them, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm facing it. But this house right here, I'm gonna show you this house right here. This was a big ass house right here that they tore down. They had this house torn down. They had a big ass crib. Damn, you can't see it. See that right there? They had a big ass crib torn down to build that crib. And it is something simple, but it's, bigger than your average crib, if you get what I'm saying. Like it's a bunch of them down through here that they do like that. I'm looking at a couple of other ones. But see, they have the money to actually copy Jake. They really be driving these cars for real. They really be, because they own all the gas stations in Detroit. They own all the damn supermarkets, all the mechanic shops. They own the damn banks. And this is one of them cities where they have their own mayor. They have their own police department. Ishmael doing good in America. That's the reason why none of them are going to go over there and fight for their own country. Like I was kicking it with this mechanic the other day. And I was just out riding my bike. And this guy, I've been dealing with him, Arab. Been dealing with him for the past 15 or so years. He do work on my car, do real good work on the vehicles for me. So, but I was riding my bike. He seen me riding by. He threw up his hands. He's like, hey, because he know me. That's how much business I done with his ass. And about sent his damn kids to college. But, he's like, hey, we kicked it for a hot second. Cool dude, though. You know what I'm saying? He definitely look out for me. And family members I done sent through, but I was like, yeah, because he generally would go back to his country. That's what over the years I've been knowing him or been, coming in contact with him. And I would go up there sometimes and, he got these women, he really lives that lifestyle of having multiple women, multiple wives. So, he'll leave his wife here. She'll be there running the damn office. And she'd be like, yeah, he's over, in Iran or he's, whatever the fuck. So I asked him the other day, I said, man, you been back to your country? Because he generally would go over there. He travels because he got the bread to do so. He's like, no, man, war. There's wars going on. And I already knew it, you know what I'm saying? But it was the way that he said it. No, he ain't going over there. He's not going over there. He's a fucking American. He got that American mindset of being here. Just like our people. They got that American, I'm an American. That's like these chicks. You see them walking through here, some pretty bad little motherfuckers too, boy. These Arab women be bad. And they be driving fucking Maseratis, Bentley trucks and shit, and they ain't working nowhere. But they got that, you can tell that they're Americanized, because they'll have their hair wrapped, but they real pretty girls in the face, so they'll have that makeup and shit, of course. And they got a lot of I ain't gonna say tanning booths, I mean salons, where they, because they got that beautiful hair, they into stuff like that. They get their nails and their feet, like they some real pretties, boy. They some delicates. I ain't gonna even front, but you see them, they be all down through here, and I see them out here walking. They got them leggings on with them fat asses bouncing, but they got them headscarves on, but they're Americanized, And that's the thing with Jake. See, our people gotta wake up and realize that this is not our rest. You just gotta get that shit up, man. We're living day to day, because it's coming to a point where it's about to be real pilgrim life out here. And then you got a lot of Edomites, because this was an Edomite city at one point, because they was real racist. They actually had signs up, niggas don't even come in here. But they kind of got rid of those, I guess back in, So it's a history of this particular city right here. Oh, they like sundown towns, they hate niggas. But these Arabs done fucking moved in. Now they got a mayor. They got their own police. The fucking Arabs took over. I don't know how it happened, but, they took over. But anyway, they become Americanized. They're not going, they might have the free Palestine or a damn Palestine flag in a yard or, all that little bullshit like that, but they're not leaving here. If you give them the opportunity to say, you want it, they ain't going home. No, especially not these women. These women not going nowhere. They are definitely Americanized, man. They got it way too easy here. Because I'm telling you right now, as I be driving down through here, they got all these nice little shops, you know, nice little, you know, places they can just, you know, because like I said again, these women, they don't work nowhere. They just out and about, just driving these cars and, you know, doing shit while they, you know, their husbands are, they got a lot more freedoms than they would most definitely have in those Eastern countries if they were to go back. They're not going back there. I'm telling you that shit now. I already know. Hell no. But, you know, real nice area, real nice neighborhood. It's kind of getting, you know, these Arabs are, you know, their kids, because they trying to live like they're in a rap video. So their kids are, you know, they got these high priced ass cars, and they out here doing damn donuts in these Bugattis and shit, and they out here racing and crashing. So they you know, they trying to be like Jake, listening to that fucking rap music. They trying to be rappers they damn selves. Cause you know, Ishmael, they kind of gotta look like Jake. They you know, they kind of, you know, because that is one of our, you know, brethren as far as like coming from our forefather Abraham. So they kind of got a little bit of tint to them. You know, they got you know, they definitely got melanin. You know, and they, you know, and they kind of look a little Jake-ish. They can pull the style off. They're not like completely just corny as hell like Esau is. But yeah, this is one of their little spots, man. They be out here getting it in. You know, be trying to wear the J's. They got the Jordans, like, you know, they got little shoe shops and shit like this. I'm passing one of these shops right now. With let me see if I can turn the camera again. Little shoe shops and shit like this right here, where they be trying to, you can go in that motherfucker, they got some shit in there if you into some shoes and kicks and shit like that. But these little spots, you know, they trying to be like Jake though, man. That's really what it is. They trying to be like Jake. And that's all these nations. Because Jake is the salt of the earth. But again, you know, it's just high time to awake out of sleep before our people to repent and to know what time period we're in, man. All this old trying to cleave to this place, you a goddamn fool. But the Lord is about to destroy this place, man. You want to have as less things to hold on to in this kingdom as you possibly can. I'll put it that way. You had to be really prepared to just lose everything, man. Which, coming into this truth, we really have, you know, if you're sincere about it. But what did the Lord tell the you know, his men? He was like, hey, you know, the things that you're losing, you'll get back 100-fold, whether it's houses or wives or whatever the case may be. So we're trusting in the end results of this thing, man. You know, fuck this place. All this stuff is temporary, man. All this shit is about to be burned. All these big ass houses they trying to build. Everybody taking a damn picture as to where the fuck they are, and, you know, a picture of their damn meal, and look at my drink, look at my margarita. All that shit not about to make no difference, man, in a minute. Because even the people that have it, they're about to go through Jacob's trouble too. They may be able to, now you got the ones that's got that money where they got these bunkers. We already know the elite of them, you know, and your secondary elite, you know, so to speak, your lower class, your Mark Zuckerbergs and your Elon Musks and shit like that, because they're not really the rich. They're just, you know, thrown out there like the face of it. So those people might, you know, be able to get away from what's to come. But you regular motherfuckers that's just out here, you got 100 million in the bank, so to speak, or you got 50 million or 40 million or 20 million or 10 million, your ass going through Jacob's trouble right along with a motherfucker that ain't got a goddamn thing. The only people that, you know, because you got these people, they're stockpiling shit, you know, they're trying to prep, so to speak. But it's coming to a point, man, where eventually you're gonna run out of shit, even if don't nobody get to you. But it's a good chance motherfucker gonna get into your gated community and get at your ass, man. So, you know, I just wanted to just chop that up on that. I seen, you know, that Jake is just kind of, you know, he was just outlandishly flamboyant. Like, damn, Jake. But anyway, you know, hey, we definitely living in the last days of this thing. It's about time for us to, shit, man, strap it in, man. Strap on them goddamn, on them fucking seat belts, man, and get ready for this ride. See, like this, you know, they building on, like this construction been going on this big ass building right here. You know, for the past, I don't pass this building every day, almost for the past 5-6 years at the plantation. They've been building on this big ass building for that long, and they still building on it. And it's all kinds of museums and shit like that across the street here, but all this stuff is about to come to, it's gonna be burnt with fervent heat, man. It's all about to be burnt with fervent heat. You saw with this AI and all this old new technology, and we're about to be here in 2050, 2060, 2075. All right, we gonna see, goddammit. Yeah, that shit is all in vain. So I'm gonna end out there. Pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yasha Allah and a Bible ball.